guys, welcome back. So we left off, we were in Fort Mill, South Carolina. We watched the storm come through Florida. We watched the path of the storm projected to come right up through where we were. So we made the decision, today is Friday, we made the decision Thursday after work at about 4 o'clock. We got the truck and we headed out, we headed down 77 into South Carolina. And we headed across 20 and landed in Augusta, Georgia last night for the night. We stayed at Cabela's. It's a real nice one if you're ever there. It's small. There's no camper parking. They ask you to park away from the building. You may want to call ahead just to see if they're okay with that. They told us as long as it wasn't busy, no problem. We got parked out of the way. We walked across the road, had a nice wood-fired pizza. And this morning, Friday morning, the 30th, we got on the road. And we are now in Cordele, Georgia. We're 3 hours from Silver Springs. We landed here about noon today. We could have pushed through, but not knowing what the traffic is going to be like getting back into Florida, not knowing what we'll find in Florida, having a day job to work, we decided to land here, settle in, go to work. It's now 4:30. We're out of work for the day, and we're wandering around, and we found this really cool old truck garage here. I'm not really sure what it used to be. I'll have to do some research. But you can see there's still like some abandoned trucks out here, trailers, some buildings are caving in over there, the doors are open. We didn't go inside and poke around, we're not quite that adventurous, but you can imagine this is probably a pretty booming thing in the day. And yeah, I don't know the story behind it. I'm guessing like you can look through the building and it almost looks like a showroom, an office space upstairs. I don't know if it was an actual truck dealership at one time or just a repair shop, but anyway, we're at a KOA right in the woods over there. As Sue pans around under the water tower, you probably see the big KOA sign up by the road. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. This is another one of those, I think it's a holiday, KOA holiday. Journey. So Sue will correct me if I'm wrong, but the Journey is usually close to the highway, has a lot of pull-through sites and not very many amenities. The holiday is usually maybe a little far from the highway, has a lot of amenities, and then there's another one. A resort, which we've never stayed at, that has all sorts of amenities. $50 a night. We do not have sewer, but there's a dump station. For another $5 a night, we could have got a pull through a sewer, but we're only here one night. So we're parked, we're all set up, and it is right off the highway, as you can hear, which, you know, if you're going to spend a month here, maybe not the best thing, but if you're just looking for a place to stop overnight and you're on I-75 headed towards Florida, this is kind of convenient. We didn't think to try a Harvest Host tonight. We thought of that after we booked this site, got on the road. We kind of did things a little spur of the moment because we kept watching that hurricane. You know, like, well, we felt pretty safe in South Carolina, but then I went out to sea, picked up a little speed. It was a Category 1. Do we really want to even tempt that in the RV? And it's like, well, we're headed to Florida anyways. The weather's nice in Florida now. Let's go ahead and boogie west. And basically what we would have normally done is out of the Charlotte, North Carolina area, we would have gone down 77, I forget the other route now. That would have brought us right over to 95 in South Carolina, right on the Georgia border. And we'd have come down 95 towards Jacksonville and cut back over to Silver Springs. So what we did now is we've cut across towards Atlanta. We cut down before we got to Atlanta, about 50 miles before Atlanta, into Macon, I think it's pronounced, Macon, Georgia. And we boogie down 75 to where we're at now. And we'll just boogie right down 75, and that brings you right into Ocala. So that's kind of the same. Silver Springs is kind of right in the middle. You're either going to come down 95 and come back to Silver Springs, or you're going to come down 75 and go over to Silver Springs. So either way, you're sort of going about the same distance when you're in Florida. But this, as you can see, I mean, it's a little cloudy now, but it's been blue skies, it's sunny. We've drove right past Ian, and you know, we're well out of the effects of it over here. We did drive through quite a bit of wind yesterday and a little bit this morning, which made it a little interesting. Traffic has been interesting. We've seen, when we were coming across 20 towards Atlanta, we probably saw a couple hundred line trucks, utility line trucks heading back towards the coast, probably in preparation for night storm. And then as we're coming down 75, we've seen all sorts of disaster relief. We've seen several camper type things that are called emergency shelter, had written emergency shelter on it, headed this way. Just a lot of stuff headed down that way. I don't know if you've watched the news, how much of it you've seen. We haven't seen a ton of it, but it's Fort Myers area just got devastated from what I can tell. I've got an actual friend in Fort Myers who survived all the wind, 150 something miles an hour, no problem. House held together great. And all of a sudden a wall of water showed up and he was chest deep in water. And they had to break the door in, to get past the water, and they had to swim to the neighbor's house up on the hill, up on the hill. So yeah, it's if you've watched the news or looked at any of the storm damage, I saw a picture of Daytona Speedway, and you could only see just a little bit of the Daytona on the wall because the whole racetrack was underwater. So it's been kind of a devastating storm for Florida, and hopefully it takes it a little easier on Georgia and South Carolina as it comes ashore. But that's kind of where we're at. Tomorrow morning we're going to get up, we're going to hook back up to the camper, and we're headed to Silver Springs. We did check and they did get the power back on at our house today, so that's a good thing. We have talked to a few of our friends in the general area who rode out the storm, said there was no real big deals with it in that area, so we're hoping that everything is like we left it, but you guys will see when we get there. Get there tomorrow, we'll get the camper back through the gate if the tree's not in the way, and yeah, we'll give you a tour, see what things look like, and figure out where we're going from here. So I think that's about it. Dog is kind of pacing around the parking lot here, looking like she'd like to wander around the campsite some more, and I'm going to go keep experimenting with my new Yeti cup that Sue got me, or cooler, or whatever you call it, and enjoy this cold beverage. So thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe.